Shalom Akim. Okay, so Karma Compassion Jim East London. I'm gonna start by saying all praise Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Double honors unto elders GMS and honors out there to the brethren on the highways and byways, teaching the truth and sincerity. Okay, just gonna get into a few articles that that have been happening for the last few days. Throughout this week. Adding on to my last video about the America and Russia, man. Okay, because events have unfolded, man. Okay, everyone should know what's going on happening in Ukraine at the moment. See, Crimea is officially Russian now. Okay, so Putin's made his move now, and it's up to the West, okay, up to the EU and America to make the next move, man. Okay, because this is just gonna escalate. Okay, and the brothers know where all this is gonna lead to. But we have to wait day by day to see how it unfolds, man. Okay, so there's a couple of different articles in there towards the end. Mark of the Beast. There's an article on that. Okay, and the economic collapse, man. Okay, but we're gonna start off here, man. Okay, this is from the commonsenseshow.com. Okay, well, you see the title, "The Course of World War III." Okay. Oh, Slovakia. Alright. And it starts to read here. It says, "The world sits upon the precipice of World War III. The programs are printed and the players have been identified. The coming global conflict is divided into two camps. The BRIC nations and the USA and her allies, both sides are preparing to go toe to toe." Okay, the following is a breakdown of the relative strengths of each side and a discussion about the likely course of events given the relative military strengths on each side. Okay, so this is gonna go into a breakdown of the numbers, really. Okay, so I just wanted to show you some of the numbers that are being thrown out there. Okay, it says comparative conventional military strength between BRIC nations and US allies. The United States and her allies have a decided advantage of quick strike, long-range battlefield capabilities because of superior aircraft and carrier strike capabilities. The BRIC nations have an advantage with manpower, rocket-propelled weapons and tanks. The USA and her allies cannot win a sustained battlefield campaign because of the attrition factor. The Chinese have demonstrated the ability to negate the United States Navy technological advances through the use of killer satellites. Okay, so there's certain tech that China, Russia, they've developed, to get around certain aspects of the West's military. Because, like I said, the West is very heavy in their naval forces and in their air forces. Okay, they've got a lot of planes and a lot of boats. Okay, with specific capabilities. Okay, but they've developed technologies that can get around that without having to compete with the West, like for like. Okay, so they're in turn spending less money in trying to get around these things, rather than spend loads of money on developing boats and planes, man. Okay, it says nuclear submarines are often looked at as a great equalizer. No matter who is winning on the ground, in the air and on the surface of the oceans, the submarine force has the capability to rain down unimaginable destruction upon their enemy. In the case of submarines, the USA and her allies are matched by their BRIC counterparts, most subs carrying 8 nuclear missiles, each capable of destroying a major city. Okay, so they both got nuclear subs, man. Okay, on an even basis, roughly. Okay, the USA presumably has superior evasive techniques and therefore will survive sub-killer strategies with greater frequency than their BRIC adversaries. Okay. So for the United States and her allies to win a conventional war, a quick strike surprise engagement is critical to the success of these forces. The BRICS would have an advantage in a longer, prolonged conflict. This is particularly true when one considers that if time permitted, the Chinese have bragged that they could put 100 million men on a battlefield. Okay, you all know there's a lot of people in China. Okay, Since following the teachings of Sun Tzu in the famous The Art of War, it is critical that the BRIC nations be brought to the battlefield of choice by the USA for a quick and decisive engagement. Okay, well, the choice isn't really there to be made. To be fair, okay, the scriptures tell you that Armageddon, okay, which is the Lord's judgment, okay, is going to be in the Middle Eastern area, okay. That is the designated spot, okay. So that's neither here nor there, okay. That's smack bang in between the two of them, okay. Probably favors, China and Russia a bit more, but it's not by choice, man. The Lord is bringing them there for their judgment. Okay. The engagement is likely to be naval and involve aircraft. This plays to the advantage of the USA, whose superior long-range strike capability is enhanced by the superior aircraft carriers. Okay, but Russia, I've got these missiles called the Sunburn missiles, or the Onyx, I think that one is called. Okay, which is one rocket is able to take out one of them aircraft carriers, man. So they don't need a plane or another boat to take it out. Okay, they just need one rocket. Okay, that's capable of destroying one of those. I believe the Iranians have them also. Okay. So the USA forces would likely engage in a distracting land engagement first to hold the maximum number of forces. The land strike, a first strike, will be directed at Syria. Okay, so this is playing it strategically. Okay, and like I said, the conflict is going to be in the Middle East, and Syria is there. Okay, so given the present crisis, the Russians would have to decide on choosing between protecting its eastern border with NATO forces or launching an offensive directed at protecting Syria. The Russians will choose self-defense. Well, according to this guy. Okay, the timing of the term, because Russia can strike an EU nation, man. Most likely London, because that's on its list of a strategic move. Okay, to attack London. So Russia has its strategic moves too, man. Okay. So the Russians, the timing of the American invasion of Syria will take place when a sufficient number of American naval vessels are present in the Black Sea to checkmate the Russia military buildup. Okay. In Crimea, which would serve as a staging area for military action in Syria. At the end of the day, once the American Navy has moved in position of the Baltic states, Russia will be powerless to prevent a US takeover of Syria. Okay, so this is according to this guy. Okay, it says once the US occupies Syria, Russia will be powerless to intervene on behalf of America's next target, Iran, because the US medium-range missiles batteries will prevent the Russian army from moving south into the region. With Russia out of the way, Iran will capitulate and stop selling oil for gold to the BRIC nations, and the petrodollar will be preserved. Iran will agree to the control of their oil fields by the US to avoid an invasion. Man, I personally couldn't see that happening. Personally, since the Iranians hate you. Okay. So they will capitulate because nobody will come to their rescue. I don't know if Russia will be that concerned, man. Iran can do things, man. They're dismissing Iran, man, but Iran can do things, man. Okay, Iran can do things. Alright. It says, what about India and China? Won't they move to protect Iran and thus erode the petrodollar? Not exactly, as China and India will have their hands full. Okay, this guy knows everything, man. The naval strike of of I speak will be directed at China before the commencement of hostilities. China will be given a short time to stand down or face destruction. So this is still coming from a point of view like America is the bad boy who could just go into anywhere and just destroy somebody, man. Okay, it ain't gonna be like that this time, right, man? Okay, America is not as mighty as the world thinks it is, man. Okay, these other nations have been built up to a level now where they can take America, man. Okay, collectively they can take America, right? Or do some serious damage to it, man. Because I haven't heard no attacks on America's soil, man. They're not talking about that. Okay, they're still thinking that they can't be touched. Okay, the scripture tells you, man, that the weak say that I am strong, man. These nations have become stronger, and America has become weaker. Okay. Or face destruction by the U.S. submarines and the long-range capabilities of U.S. carriers. It is only necessary to target China's major cities to force capitulation. This strategy would free the disenchanted Chinese living in the rebellious outlying provinces to launch a revolution against Beijing. It is also rumored that the US does have space-based nuclear weapons. If this is the case, this conflict could be over in the early morning of hours of the first day. The Chinese submarine force could be capable of taking out several US cities, however their submarines alone will not change the outcome. India will be held back in check by Pakistan and her nuclear weapons. Why, I'm not entirely sure. Okay, because Pakistan don't like America either. Okay, I mean, I say allies that are listed down as American allies or NATO allies, man, at this time, man, or at that time, people are going to be switching sides, man. Okay, people are going to be switching sides. They ain't going to be down with America. At the end of all this, America is not going to have no friends. Okay, ain't going to have no allies, man. It might start off with them, but it's not going to end that way. They're going to switch sides. Okay, but they're making it seem like America has the power to pin down everybody, and that it wouldn't be hard for America to defeat. Defeating China in one day. Come on, man. Just because you have the ability to destroy a nation, destroy a city, so the Chinese have the ability to destroy a city, man. And fuck your shit up. Okay, this war ain't gonna be as easy as you may think it is, man. Okay, you might escape, in World War II and that with little casualties, man. And your soul, intact. Okay, but this ain't the same, man. This ain't the same. They all got nukes. Okay, they all can shoot on you. Just because you got nukes and you think people are scared of you, man, these guys ain't scared of you no more. They'll put their money where their mouth is, man, and they'll risk it just to fuck you up. Okay. So subsequently, India will never enter the fight. The US forces in Afghanistan could block a Russian invasion of Pakistan from the north. It is clear that the USA and her allies will decisively defeat the BRIC nations in a conventional war, so long as it is a short conflict. Okay, but how they're going about it is that it will be a short conflict because America can do this, and this. Okay, but it's not going to work that way. Okay, it may be a relatively short conflict, but America still ain't going to win, regardless of how long it lasts. Okay, so however, there is one game-changing strategy that BRICS won. They've already got one option that the BRICS could employ. If the BRICS